Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Sideline Junkies Sunday Rise NFL Week number 11. I am the boss BJ, and I got the man, the Midnight Rider, with me, and the big guy KG on assignment. He had a special assignment. I needed him to do something real quick in the Black Lincolns, so we had to dust him off, and he had to go. He had to go take care of something, but he'll be coming shortly. Midnight Rider, how you feeling this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm pumped up. I'm at week 11. We got some good games on the slate. We got some bad games on the slate. So let's just make it happen, man.
But you know what? The good and the bad is always room for betting.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
There
ain't no need. Just give us what.
So we're going to start off. Since you said betting, I'm trying to optimize my fantasy lineup because I'm getting dragged in fantasy. Yeah, I know. You know what? Let me tell y'all this. It's so imperative if you're in fantasy and pick 'em. It's so imperative if you've got a busy schedule just to set a reminder. I was listening to y'all Thursday, and 8:14, y'all said something about the game setting the lineup, and I ran to my phone and I couldn't set the pick for the Bengals and the Ravens game, so I lost out on that pick. So set your lineups now if you can. Play around with it. Don't be like me and forget about what's going on. So we're going to go into something that we normally don't do on a Sunday. So usually Sunday is all NFL, but we got to pull up something NBA, something local, and something Wizards related. No, they're not winning or anything like that, and they're not relevant. But we're going to talk about Deni Avdija, and not trying to trash him real anything, but I think him playing overseas and being used to a certain level of home support, he's asking the Wizards fans for more support. Midnight Rider.
It's not even the kids. It's not even his fault.
I that's elaborate, please.
Because I mean, you gotta think about it. You're in my age bracket, even though you're at the lower end of the bracket, and I'm at the higher end, way higher end of it. When they say 40 to 49. But when we grew up, the biggest thing about the Wizards games was, come out and see Michael Jordan, come out and see Larry Bird, come out and see Magic Johnson, come out and see Alex English. It was never come watch your team, come support Jeff Malone, Moses Malone, Tom Gugliotta. It was never that segment of the world. It was always the back end of it. And that's the problem, that the part that Deni doesn't get. There's a generation or two of Wizards fans that were never promoted to go see the Wizards for being the Wizards. We were promoted to go see the other players. And that's how some of us became fans of other players, and not the ones at home. So when LA comes to town, LA, unlike some of these other teams, when LA comes and Boston comes here, it's a sold-out arena, and you got LA and Boston fans.
Yep.
Now, other teams goes to the fad. You know, like Cleveland, when LeBron was in Cleveland, it sold out. But now Cleveland comes, it's not. But still, you just get that majority of fans from other teams. And it's not – it's their fault. They set it up that way.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's hard to break – what do we say all the time, especially in our community? Hard to break generational curses.
Right.
And for generations, not one, not two, for a long time, this team has been irrelevant in the NBA front. And I read through the article I'm looking at. I'm like you said in the beginning, it's not his fault.
Right.
It's not his fault. It's something that is beyond him that he can't comprehend. And that little snippet of Jordan Poole in the huddle the other night, not paying attention to the play, it kind of like you have a younger Bradley Beal now. Like nobody's taming this guy in, and this is why this franchise is where it is. It's why they're 2-7, 2-10, whatever they are, and that they're irrelevant. And they keep marketing, come see this team, come see the Warriors, and it's going to be, it's never going to be a point where, unless this team starts winning cures everything, because a couple of miles up the road in Landover, the Commanders have the same issue with with visiting teams overrunning the stadium, which is kind of it's trying to fix itself because you got some positives with the team, but until this team starts winning and putting a product on the floor that people want to see, this is what it's going to be. You're going to have a franchise where they're giving tickets away. They're giving tickets away to the local companies to get people in there. I mean, that used to be the thing. Unfortunately, when I was coming up, you knew you could get Wizards tickets for $10.
Mm-hmm.
Team bought $20 instead of the lower bowl. It would be a mediocre game. It will be a low game. It will be two cellar dwellers, but you get to have that game day experience and have everything else. The basketball was trash, and
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No. I would just want to say it's still trash.
And I was gonna say, I think it was like 5 years ago, right? I know it was before the pandemic. I would take Josh to Wizards games because I could get a ticket behind the basket, probably like row L or M, and I'm only paying like $60 for the two of us.
Yep.
Like I'm the king of trying to get FanDuel, especially when teams are bad. I will come support you when you're bad because I get the game day experience. I don't have any expectations. And so, like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely go watch the Wizards this year. I'm gonna go watch the Nats this summer because they'll be bad, but I'll have the option of getting some very good seats and having a very good view of the game before everything gets started.
And would you agree that baseball experience is way better than the NBA experience? That whole experience at Nat Stadium, food,
the food, the drinks, the service, the people. I'm a big proponent of sitting in the right field corner. 136 is my section. I don't try to sit any higher than row M. Is
that the sun side?
It is the sun side, unfortunately. It's unfortunately the sun side. But that corner, that's right there by the bullpen. So if you catch it right, you can get, like for Josh's first game, I had gone a couple weeks before and I'd been there. So I kind of knew like the usher on that not the usher, he was the security guy on that side. And I'll never forget, when he recognized I had my son with me, he came up and gave him like a handful of bubble gum.
Okay.
And then this joker gets even luckier because I made eye contact with the bullpen coach and was like, I pointed to him saying it's his first game, and the guy made sure I got a baseball for Josh.
Okay, cool.
So the Nats will take care of you. So it's definitely a different experience.
Yeah, and I agree. But let's not try to bash Denny.
No, not at all.
It's not his fault. It's when we're bashing, it's the Wizards, it's the organization we're bashing because we'll get to maybe we'll talk some Wizards Tuesday, but that's a whole nother show. So we're gonna skip over that. And Midnight Rider, this is going to be you because I got some comments on a couple of games, but let's jump into college football. And the first game we're going to talk about is Washington versus Oregon State. They come out victorious 22-20. Talk to me about Penix.
So this is actually his worst game of the season.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see a whole lot of it, but I kept paying attention to the box score. I definitely know there was some weather involved. He and DJ, and I think a kid that somebody, if you're a team looking for a quarterback late and your quarterback coach believes in big, tall quarterbacks, maybe like a Pittsburgh type of organization, I think a kid like DJ Ugalele is a quarterback that you'll take a late round flyer on in this draft. I actually think this draft is going to be deep enough that a lot of kids are going to get drafted out of this class, 4th, 5th round type of guys. I think the first 2 rounds are going to have about 8 guys taken. But this game specific, I think this is a game that helps push Washington closer to the first 4 as opposed to push them away from it. And that's the biggest key for this ball game was Washington had to have this game to keep themselves in contention to get into the first 4 for the college playoffs. Because we know automatically there's a elimination game when it comes to Ohio State versus Michigan next week.
Mm-hmm.
So we get one team that's gonna get knocked out of it, and that puts Washington in prime position to take that place.
Real quick, Penix 13 for 28, 162 and 2 touchdowns. Ugalele 15 to 30. I think that's how you pronounce it. 15 to 30.
Don't worry about it.
164 and 2 picks. So interesting. Let's go to the next game, and this is surprising. Michigan leaves College Park a winner 31-24. I really thought this was going to be a absolute drag up and down the field. I turned it off when it was 16-3 because it was the Tagovailoa fumble, the horrible scramble and fumble. That and then the block punt, I turned it off. It was like succession. The fumble, and then they came back and blocked the punt. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it today. Let me turn this off. Why is this game close, Midnight Rider? Why wasn't this a Michigan blowout?
Because you turned away right when the Terps got lucky. Well, not lucky. They came back, had a good drive. And so anybody that plays Madden knows that when you kick in the first half, you get the receive in the second, you get that bump. So if you handle that last possession of the first half and that first possession of the second half, you can jump. And that's what happened. Maryland made that jump. They got 7 going into the tunnel, and they got 7 coming out of the tunnel. So it became they got back in the ball game, basically. That's the easiest way for me to explain it, is they got back in the ball game because they were able to figure it out, get some things together. I think Michigan had a scoring drive in between or wherever it goes. But, yeah, that's what they did. They saved themselves from getting blown out. And then the problem was they were down 1 score midway through the third quarter. They were driving, and they could have tied the ball game up. But Tagovailoa throws an interception on the sidelines on a bad read, and Michigan goes down and scores. And then they come back and score to get back within 7, and that's how we end up with the 31-24. I keep saying all along that this team, Maryland, has blown the opportunity to have 9 to 10 wins this year because for some reason their quarterback is way too inconsistent and he doesn't get the job done. And it's sad to see because I know now, as much as I watch college football, the one thing I know is the quarterback is the key to everything. The quarterback makes you 10 or 11 win team, and that same or a different quarterback can make you a 7-6 game winning team. And that's the issue. And it's the big guy, KG.
What's going on, sir? Morning to you.
Morning, fellas. Morning.
Hey, I got one question
late,
for
but
you.
I'm here.
I know. I got one question for you. Actually, 2. Did you clean the Lincoln up? Did you clean the Lincoln back up? Because you had to run an errand. Did you clean the Lincoln back up? And how much gas it got left?
Lincoln's clean and it's on F.
Okay. Just making sure because sometimes we got to call specialty cleaning services to handle that. So
yeah, trunk's nice and clean. We don't have to worry about that at all.
Okay.
Oh, the trunk.
The trunk, yeah. The link is going for a special assignment. They only give it no riding, no joy riding. I mean, it's joy riding for us, but it's not. If you see that Lincoln, it's not joy riding for somebody. Somebody's going to take a dirt.
Tommy 2 Guns. So somebody got to be in the truck. Frozen.
But back to this Michigan, the Terps are so frustrating because you can see that they are a horse or 2 away from actually being something. They don't have the same thing we talk about Colorado, and we'll get to Colorado. They just don't have it on the defensive line. They don't have it on the offensive line. Talua is horrible. He's horrible. He's absolutely horrible. I've been trying to give the kid credit. He is an absolute train wreck. And I'm talking about a train wreck that's carrying crude oil, dynamite, gas, farm animals, and it just crashed. And you got farm animals covered in crude oil on fire running around the town. And you can't kill them because the bullets won't penetrate the crude oil now because it didn't harden because of the fire. So you just got a whole mess. That's what the quarterback situation in College Park is. Hopefully it's over soon. But I turned it off. Like I said, I just when he did that scrambling and fumbled that ball, I'm just like, this ain't the first game. This is not the first game. You know you cannot do that, especially against Michigan at home. You got to scramble and throw it away or run out of bounds or just take the 20-yard sack, go down on the ground in the fetal position. And the fact that you're still making these mistakes this late in the season, that's when you know it's not here. It's not up here. And they just got him hoping that he would play off the name. They could get something out of him. And you're seeing it. This kid probably would start at Morgan State, maybe. Probably look like a star.
Let's not be too crude to the kid. He's a college starting quarterback. The problem is he hasn't taken that step that you want your quarterback to take, and you see it in the plays that you just talked about: the fumble, the interception late on the sideline on a big time drive. He just doesn't make he doesn't make the play you need every time. There was a spot in that game last night where if he just has a little bit better accuracy, they get so it's really right before he throws an interception. So I think it's 1st and 10. They do play action. He throws a fade up the sideline. He overthrows the guy by like 2 steps. They come back. I think they run the ball with Hemby. And they come back and he throws on an outcut. He throws it late, and number 0 from Michigan intercepts it. That's been him all year. When he has the chance to make the big play, he just doesn't put the football in the right place. Even on the drive they scored in the second half, the first drive I think it is, he throws a fade up the sideline, and the guy has to like kind of extend to catch it. His knee hits at the 1-yard line. So it's 1st and goal from the 1. So of course you got the Terps do their version of the tush push. And they get in with the kid Edwards. But yeah, it's I don't know what it's gonna be. And Edwards looks like he has the body and the build and makeup to be a quarterback. I just haven't seen him throw a football. So I'm a little worried about that, and I'm not sure how that goes.
So then I would make the argument. We're gonna move to the next game. I make the argument that like I said, I think Maryland thought they were getting, they were trying to play off that name, the Tungo Vailoa name, and they thought they were going to get something, hopefully, and it's just not there. And I just don't believe
he's been better than what Merlin's had before. Like he's not you're not putting. If you take the records out, you're not putting Scott McBride, Jordan. What's Jordan's name? I can't even think his last name. You're not putting guys ahead of him. He's not the worst Maryland quarterback. Like he's still in the top 3 of Maryland quarterbacks we've seen in the last 20 years.
That's
not
horrible.
saying a whole lot.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's not a boost of confidence there. We're gonna wrap that up and we're gonna move on to the next one. We got the Georgia Bulldogs, 38-10 over Tennessee. I know this probably isn't going to garner too much conversation, but Georgia does what they're supposed to do. Midnight Rider. Did you take anything away from this game?
Yeah, Georgia's quarterback, Carson Beck. He's not going to make the list of the Midnight Rider, but he's a solid quarterback. And if he's a senior, he should get some looks. That's what I'm talking about with this class of quarterbacks is the guys that are coming out. Some of these guys are going to be a little bit more mature because they stayed in college longer. And some of them have the tools. And that's pretty much it. And then with this game, I thought Joe Milton would have been a better quarterback for Tennessee, but obviously Tennessee has some issues, and that's all I got on this.
Cool. Moving on. Last but not least, the Buffs get destroyed from Washington State 56-14. I think that on this panel right here, this is something that we expected. We called out the games that the Buffaloes are going to have trouble with. I just want to say this. There's a lot of people loving that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is absolutely getting handed to him now. And you see these teams that are getting up to play the Buffaloes because these kids want what the Buffalo kids have. They're getting all this exposure. They got the first class, everything you could think of. They got the rappers, they got the actors, you name it, they coming. When Coach Prime gets this team together and hits his transfer portal again the next 2 seasons, I want to hear those same people come back and laugh and joke about Coach Prime and the Buffaloes getting destroyed when they win in their conference. I'm patient. And Coach Prime knows it's difficult because he's a winner. He's won, he's a first ballot Gold Jacket Hall of Fame in NFL top 25. If you had to do NFL top 25, it's probably Deion Sanders is in there. Top 20, probably. He's probably in that conversation. So you don't get that way without a certain work ethic and mindset. But when he gets this team together, I want to hear that same energy. Same energy. The Oregon coach, everybody, I want to hear that same energy when this team is a little bit better next year. So, Midnight Rider, we go to you, and then Big Guy KG. If you got anything on this you want to say, we'll go Midnight Rider and Big Guy.
All I gotta say is Stanford. The Stanford game for this team changed their season because if they come out of that game with a win, they get 5 wins and they're 1 game away from being bowl eligible. And the problem was the way they lost that ball game. I think it took some out of them, and they've been struggling to find their identity ever since. And it didn't help that Prime took the play calling duties away from the coordinator he brought over from Kent State. Actually, the head coach he brought over from Kent State. So it created some problems, and I think it made an adjustment. The other problem is they just can't protect the quarterback. That's their biggest problem. They can't protect the QB. Shedeur got beat up. Shedeur actually had to leave the game early. And after Shedeur, I don't know what else they have at quarterback. So that's it.
I sit back and I look at this Colorado team. I love what I'm seeing. They scrappy, they hungry, they feisty. It's just they don't have it. And I don't know if everybody expected them to run on all cylinders and win a national championship this year, but okay. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Y'all see what I sent y'all on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Check your WhatsApp, Midnight Rider. It's a quick read, but it's very interesting. It goes to what we're talking about with Colorado, but yeah.
Here's the thing. If you got a problem with Coach Prime, thank you. You got a problem with Coach Prime in Colorado, he's brought more commerce to that area in a couple of months than they've had in years. His impact is well past the football field. Just the same way he did for Jackson State, he's going to do for Colorado. He didn't win his first season in Jackson State. He struggled then. It's like Novocaine. Give it a chance to work, please.
Midnight Rider, did you get a chance to read that?
I caught it. I mean, that's what happens when you're 4-7. Like that kid probably would have made that comment if they were 7-4 or 8-3. So it makes sense. But yeah. But it's what happens when you have a bad team dealing with adversity.
and high expectations now because
That,
they get
well,
the
that, and
attention.
that's the funny part is this team really shouldn't have had any high expectations because they were 1-13 or whatever it was. They got blown out every game. So you can't. When you transfer over the talent, it doesn't make sense. And so I think the problem was they started hot. They started and they won their first 3 or 4 ball games before anything happened. And that's where the expectations started rising. And I got to give you props, BJ, because you were the person that kept saying, I don't see this team having another win down this stretch. And I kept telling you, oh, they can get it. They're going to get it. But you were right. And I got to give you your flowers on that.
Read a quick. I'm gonna read y'all on the air what I sent them guys. This is a Colorado player calling out Coach Prime, so-called. Simple fact, bro. We could have went undefeated this year. Bullshit. Too much selfish ball going on. Man, can't win like that. 100%. Got to play and win as a team. But if you go on the other route, you get results like this. Let me tell you something, son. 56-14 isn't selfish ball. 56-14, you don't have the horses. You don't have, and you might be one of those guys. You might be one of those guys. 50, if this was 56-50, we could talk about selfish ball. We could talk about Coach Prime wanting his sons to shine versus putting the players in that could make a difference. No. We're talking about there are deficiencies in this team that will not allow them to beat the big dogs in their own conference. You cannot. That's not selfish ball. That is you going to a gunfight with a water gun, and like pew pew pew, and you getting shot to death. That's what the Buffalo team is. They got the best water guns. They got battery operated 4D batteries. It squirt 200 feet. You know what I'm saying? Hit you in the eye and poke your eye out. But you got on the other side, you got people with tanks. So it's not gonna work. But I think that's somebody that won't be a Buffalo next year. So, gentlemen, are we ready to go into NFL week number 11?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. Week number 11. First game on the slate. Let me do this. First game on the slate is Las Vegas at Hold on, guys. Las Vegas at Miami. Miami is a 13.5-point favorite. The over-under is 45.5. I'm trying to get to that. All right. That's not going to work with that banner. So let's take that down so we can read this. For some reason, my computer is not. Can somebody read that real quick while I go?
I got you.
Okay.
So Las Vegas, 27th in points per game, 17.2. 13th in points per game allowed at 20.5. 31st in total yards per game, 275.4. 23rd in passing yards per game, 192.1. They're 30th in rushing yards per game at 83.3. 18th in yards per game allowed at 334.3. And turnover differential, they're 31st with a -7. Miami, first in points per game, 31.7. Points per game allowed, 26th with 25 points per game. Total yards per game, they average 435.3, which is first. Pass yards per game, 287.4, which has them first. Rush yards per game, 147.9, has them second. Yards per game allowed, 322.4, which is 12th. And then the turnover differential, they're 24th at -4.
Gentlemen. And let's go KG then Midnight Rider. Give me your thoughts on this game. I got a question for both of you. In addition to your thoughts on the game, does the Antonio Pierce effect have an outcome on this game? Do we see a different Vegas team that maybe gives Miami some trouble?
I'm gonna say yes, because Antonio Pierce is coming in there with black Air Force One energy. So when you see somebody with some black Air Force Ones on, you already know what it is. You know what it is. So yeah, I think Pierce is it's gonna affect how they play. I think it's gonna be close until late, and then Miami's gonna run away with this. To be quite honest, Miami won't cover the 13.5 spread. They'll win the game, but they won't cover the spread and give me the over on this one.
10-4 Midnight Rider. What you got?
So you got So you got LV plus 13.5. Sorry. I'm kind of in the wheelhouse of KG, but I just don't like Aiden O'Connell. I'm sorry. I can't. When I see a bad quarterback on tape in college, now of course he was at Purdue, so they don't have great weapons on the outside. But I think this game definitely hits the over. I'm not sure if Devin Achane is playing this week, and if he is, I'm definitely going with the over. I'm gonna take Miami in the points because I just don't believe in Las Vegas's offense enough to make this happen. So give me Miami, the minus 13.5, and I'm gonna take the over. And the only way this game is close is if Antonio Pierce and his philosophy and sticking to Josh Jacobs on the running game, and that running game actually produces, is their gateway to making this a slobber knocker instead of a showdown or what's the joint? What was the Lakers' whole Showtime? Because the Miami can make this Showtime and go deep with Achane, Mostert, Waddle, the Cheetah, and it could get ugly real quick.
Achane is questionable right now, so
okay.
This is a big opportunity for Miami. I think Las Vegas, they of course they're going to show a different confidence, but I'm with the Midnight Rider and the quarterback situation. I just don't think that can keep up with what Miami's going to put on the field. I think Las Vegas makes it a game. I don't think Miami's going to get covered at 13.5. I'm going to say over, though. I'm going to say over the 45.5. And then, of course, I'm going to take Miami to win. But I'm going to get Las Vegas to cover the points, though. I know it can happen because of how quick Miami can put, points on the board. I just think you're dealing with a Vegas team that has a different mindset now, and they want to play now. They don't want to, they under Buffon before they, you quit on a coach quick when you stop believing it. I don't think that's the case at all. Now I think you'll see some dogfight in them. I think Miami still gets it though. So the next game on the slate, they don't deserve to be talked about second to last. Now we're going right into these bums. The Jets in Orchard Park taking on the Buffalo Bills. They do not deserve to be talked about at all when it comes to not happening. Let me read this real quick. The Bills are 7.5-point favorites and the over-under is 40. We'll jump right into the stats. NYJ, 30th in points, 16 a game, 19 points allowed, 7th, 283 yards, good for 29th, 179 yards a game, good for 30th in passing, 103, 18th, good for 18th from rushing, 307 yards allowed per game, and 12th plus 1 turnover differential. The Buffalo Bums, 26 points a game, 8th, points allowed, 18th, 5th, total yards a game, 370, 7th, passing yards, 253, 7th, rushing yards, 116, 13th, yards allowed, 330, 17th, turnover differential, -3, good for 19th in the league. Gentlemen, instead of me going on a rampage, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my Buffalo Bills. I want to hear from you guys. I'll go last. What's wrong with the Bills? We'll start with a big guy, and then we'll go to Midnight Rider. Can the Bills address this issue? Is it too late for them?
He just put himself on mute.
You muted, big guy. You muted.
I swear I unmuted before any of that. I must have hit the
You
button
did,
again.
you,
But
did,
anyway,
you did the exact opposite. You muted just before.
the Bills have something special, right? But in order to have nice things and to grow, you have to cultivate. Getting rid of Ken Dorsey, we'll see how that works today. But the Bills have to do what the boss BJ's been saying all season. Josh Allen has to run the ball at least 7 to 9 times. You got something going with James Cook last week where he had over 100 yards rushing. Gabe Davis has to step up and be a productive member of society. Like, bro, let's go. The Jets are on their heels. I think that the Jets are like right on the cusp of turning it over. Like, it's right there. It's like a car on a cold morning that won't start. You done bang the starter a couple of times. And it's just right there to turn it over. It's like it need one more tap with a ball peen hammer on the starter, and then it's going to start. I think that's the Jets right now. They need one more tap, and then they're off and running. But give me the Bills in this one. Bills by 7. Give me the under. I ain't got the Bills putting up many points, but give me the under.
Can you give me the graphic real quick? What the lines are? Minus 7.5.
There you go.
Over under 40. I'm gonna take the under. I'm gonna take the Jets to cover the 7.5. And I'm gonna take Buffalo to win. KG, real quick, you had under. Who'd you have as the winner of the game?
Buffalo. And I got the Jets covering.
Okay, so same thing. I think the issue for me is I wonder what's the Ken Dorsey effect. Do you get addition by subtraction, or is this a moment where Sean McDermott knows this is it? He's on his last ride, and if he can't get this team in the playoffs and he can't get them to a championship game, it's sayonara. See you later. Thank you for your participation. We appreciate your time. Good luck. Find a job somewhere else, and that's where I'm at with this. So I don't know if Buffalo, or actually I should say, I don't know how they're gonna come back from this or react to this. So we'll see how that happens. And that's pretty much it for me. That's all I gotta say on that.
We're going to see, what the effect Ken Dorsey getting fired has, because at times this offense, it just does. It's like the game plan just isn't. It just isn't there. It has no cadence. It has no rhythm. So we're going to see if the new guy that's stepping in can give this offense some type of cadence and rhythm. And I think the thing that puzzles everybody with Buffalo is that you've seen they had some offensive struggles last year, but for the most part, the last 2 seasons, this offense can score in the blink of an eye. And it's struggling to the point where something's wrong. Something's wrong. You don't know, you keep hearing the rumblings with Stephon Diggs and his brother tweeting. You keep hearing about Ken Dorsey, which is, old news now because he's gone. There's some type of dysfunction on this team. We can't put a pin on it. We don't know what's going on. And it starts with Josh Allen. If Josh Allen can't get out here and control himself, stop trying to force things to happen, you're going to get more mistakes. The Broncos were given a game last week. They were given a game. The Buffalo Bills, I say this every week, they left points on the board. There's no way that game should have been close. The amount of times Buffalo had the ball and could have scored. And they should have scored because we've seen them. We're not talking about an offense like the Commanders, something that you're seeing being built, and you got to see what they can do. You've seen what this core do. For the most part, your core, Diggs, Davis, Josh Allen, and now you have a better running game than what you've had in the past. You have a tight end that looks like he's the real deal in Dalton Kincaid, and now the offense is struggling even more. So it just is head scratching. And then now you're to a point now where the offense actually has to win games because the defense isn't worth a goddamn piece of nothing. They can't stop anybody. They don't have they lost their playmakers, Tre'Davious White and Matt Milano. They lost their playmakers. They almost have, which surprised me. It kind of shows me how good the Broncos offensive line was. That Bills defensive line was kind of quiet. AJ Espinosa and Rosso got a sack. They got through finally, but Russ ran around last week and did what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. You have no playmakers in the secondary, and that includes Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. I say this every week. You're hoping Butler from Green Bay can give you some type of stability back there. It's just too much going on with this team. And something I've said time and time again, Sean McDermott has not learned how to play chess. He's still playing checkers. He's still playing on a Nintendo. He's still playing chess on a Nintendo. You going over his house and he had your Nintendo controller. You're like, dude, what the hell is this? And you got Andy Reid and you got all these other coaches playing chess on a souped up gaming laptop. He's just not on some of the decisions that are made during the game. You can tell that it's him. I'm not going to say it's just him. It's a multitude of things holding this team back. And Sean McDermott is one of them. This team should be sitting on top of the AFC East. Hopefully getting the first round a game, if not a bye. So, that's where the Bills are. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs. I got them losing today. Jets cover, and I think it's under 40. And I think it's going to be something stupid. The Jets, let's not kid around. The Jets have one of the better defenses in the league. Okay, Josh Allen not going to run around. I'm going to say something that I've been saying, the whole Josh Allen running 6 or 7 times. All right, that's cool, but I think we're at a point now, from what I've seen from James Cook the last 2 or 3 weeks, he needs to touch the ball 15 times. I think he's starting to get his stride running the ball. You can see that explosiveness hitting the hole. Give him the ball. Set some stuff up for him for a screen. Set some stuff up for him. Let him go out in the flat, catch the ball against a linebacker. He's showing you he got some wheels. Let him work. Let James cook. Let him work. Like, the big guy said it. Whenever Gabe Davis wants to show up, I guess we'll wait for him to pull up in the limousine. He got a black Lincoln, but he ain't got no engine in his Lincoln. That's why he ain't came yet. What's up, Midnight Rider?
I'm in a fantasy league, and most leagues I play in, for the flex spot, you can play a wide receiver, a running back, and a tight end. But I got one league where I can't do that. I'm not naming no leagues, but I'm just so like in my Yahoo league, I can play Dalton Kincaid and TJ Hawkinson because I don't have a viable option as my third receiver. Now, maybe it's my fault as an owner that I didn't plan out correctly for this, but I thought, in this other league, I could start Logan Thomas and my other tight end, but I can't because it's only wide receiver and running back in my other league. So I'm just confused with that, but it's all good. Carry on.
Hey, look, I know you guys, everybody that listen, co-host, I know everybody's tired of me ranting about the Buffalo Bills week in and week out. So I appreciate y'all sticking with me through these tough times. But I got the Jets losing today. Winning. I got the Jets winning. I got the Buffalo Bills losing and the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs ending their season. And as much flowers as I give Sean McDermott, it's time for that ship to sell on out. It's time for that anchor to get pulled up. It's time for that ship to sell out. It's time to get somebody in here that can take this team to the next level. And I'm also I'm tired of 14. I'm tired of 14. I think it's time for 14 to go. If he want to bitch and moan and complain his way out of here, let him go. So Moving on. Let's go
Hold up. KG had something.
Oh, go ahead, KG. Go ahead. Go.
I'm gonna say this. Don't blame me for that because I had it set when you could play an extra quarterback if you wanted. It was quarterback, receiver, tight end, running back. You could have put 4 different people in that spot. That's the way I had it. They changed that. I don't know how to change it back.
I wasn't even talking about your league. I'm in 4 leagues.
That's
I know
fine.
this is about you.
That's fine.
The league I'm talking about has a team called the Midnight Marauders in it that's in first place. But I'm not talking about your league. I'm talking about this other league I'm in.
Next on the slate, we got the Vikings at the Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 3, and the over-under is 41.5. And we're going to get to these stats as soon as I can get to them. Let's go to the league rankings. Minnesota first. They're 12th at scoring 23 a game, 14th in points allowed at 20, 10th in total yards, 358 a game, 3rd in passing yards, 272, 29th in running the ball, 85 a game, 13th in yards allowed, 323, and 19th in turnover differential at -3. The hometown team, the Denver Broncos, 21st in points. 21 points a game, good for 15th. Points allowed, 27, good for last. Total yards, 301, 23rd. Passing yards, 184, 28th a game. Rushing yards, 117 at 12th. Yards allowed per game, 401 yards allowed per game. Good for 32nd last. Turnover differential is +3. Gentlemen, real quick, I'll say this. I'm taking the Vikings. I said it in my Buffalo rant this week. The Broncos have to prove to me that they can actually win the game and not be giving the game to them. And I think the Vikings got a little bit of momentum right now. So I'll take the Vikings, of course, the points. I think they'll cover that 3. Give me the over on the 41.5. I like the Vikings. I like Josh Dobbs. I've always rooted for Dobbs. I hope he does well. But give me the Vikings, man. Give me the Vikings over the Broncos and at Mile High or whatever they call it. Big guy and then Midnight Rider.
I'm with you. Give me the Vikings in this one plus the 3. Give me the under on this one. This is going to be an underwhelming game, but Josh Dobbs. You know, people talking big shit about him, but Josh Dobbs, man, the dude came in and just won. And if he can do that, I smell quarterback controversy.
What?
If he comes, hear me out. If he comes in, let's say Vikings win out the rest of the season. You telling me there wouldn't be a quarterback controversy? And he balls out the rest of the year. You telling me there's not going to be a quarterback controversy?
It would be in that case, but if that happens.
That's what I'm saying. If that happens,
I got you.
I got you.
I apologize. I'm not a big believer in Josh Dobbs. There's a reason he's been traded and started in 10 days after he's gotten to a location. I apologize. Let me sit back and let's listen to you as you take your time. I apologize, sir.
I'm done. I'm taking the Vikings. I don't have much to say. The next game is what I want to talk about.
So you got Vikings, the under, and the 3 points.
Yep.
These two teams were meant for each other because I don't think either team can really score. So I'm agree with KG on the under, but I'm gonna go against you guys because I think the Broncos have the better quarterback. So I'm gonna take the Broncos for the win. And I'm gonna take the Broncos with the 3 because I think they'll win this in a weird like 24-20. No, that's too many points. A 21-17. There we go. Because now you get a bad beat at the same time. You get 21-17. That's 41 points. So it just hits the under in a devilish way. And you get over with the Broncos on the point side. So, yeah, that's what I like. I like that. I like chaos. And also the league I was talking about, like my team names can't get right, but I'm not talking about the league we in together.
You already gave yourself away, man. You talking about my team, number one. Number one in the league at 9-1.
You haven't seen that? I know we shared the clip where the dude like is at his boy's house, and he's doing like they're talking, and he's like, "We going out tonight." He's like, "Oh no, I can't go," and then he goes does a freestyle, and the whole time he's doing the freestyle, he's talking about the guy in the other room. I'm gonna send that to you. That's where I got this from.
All right, next game. Boss had to step away for a second. Next game. This is the game I want to talk about for various reasons. Eagles versus Chiefs. Eagles are 2.5-point dogs. The over on this the Monday night game. Over under is 46.5. Let me pull up the stats here. Where does Uncle BJ have the stats at? Right here. All right. I got it. I wasn't running the bull, but I'm running it now.
We got Tanisha Sutton, NBA, Icon Enterprises. I think we just gave a plug for somebody's beauty shop.
Oh, shoot. That's the wrong one. How did that get all the way down there? That's not even supposed to be down there. That's what, matter of fact, shout out to Miss Tanisha Sutton. She did our logo for us. So
shout out.
Big shout out to her. She did our logo.
Okay, KG, before we keep going, guys, if you guys haven't noticed, down below, you gotta check out the Sideline Junkies. We got Fort Moose, Fort Mose, however you want to call it. We got our whiskey ambassador program going. So please, if you drink whiskey, even if you don't drink whiskey, but you know somebody that drink whiskey, check it out. Use our promotion code to get a discount and just help some brothers out. We appreciate it. Again, thank you very much. Go ahead, KG.
Reading the stats here. Start with Philly. Philly's third in the league in scoring at 28 a game. 17th in points allowed. 5th in total yards. 10th in passing yards. 8th in rushing yards. 14th in yards allowed per game. And 16th in turnover differential. The Chiefs are 13th in points per game. 1st in points allowed. And 8th in total yards per game. 5th in passing yards and 19th in rushing yards. Here's the crazy thing. 45 years ago today, we had one of those games. One of them games, one of them name games. And that name game is the Miracle at the Meadowlands. And Herm Edwards made a name for himself. And it made him a Philadelphia legend. So you're going to see a lot of replays of that today and a lot of talk about that. So this weekend, Midnight Rider, I'm not touching none of this stuff, and it just keeps going all over the place. Midnight Rider, what's your thoughts on this game?
What was the line again?
The line for this is the Chiefs 2.5. The over under is 46.5.
So give me the over. I think this is definitely going to hit the over. I don't know what I did in the picks, and this is probably where I get in trouble at because my Sunday mind doesn't always match up with my Tuesday mind. I'm gonna take the Eagles to win, Eagles cover, and the over 46.5. And I guess they call him Sexy Batman. Jason Kelce gets the win over the Fighting Swifties.
The Fighting Swifties. Boss BJ?
I'm sorry. I'm watching a clip from Texas A&M where they use an all walk-on team to do their kickoff, and it's the sidelines going bananas, and then they make the tackle. It's just, I sent it to you guys. Awesome to see. Eagles Chiefs. I think this is your Super Bowl preview right here. These are the two most consistent teams. Joey B is going down for the rest of the season in Cincinnati. I still don't believe in the Ravens. I think it'll be the Ravens going to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs, and I'll take Patrick Mahomes any day of the week in that matchup. But I think this is your Super Bowl preview here. I think the Eagles clipped them in Arrowhead. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm definitely going over that, and I'll take the Eagles to also cover those points. It's just these are the best two teams. The 49ers can make that argument and put themselves back in it if they can get themselves back out of the hole they just went through and prove that they belong. And then, I know y'all going to hate this, but it just also depends on if the Cowboys keep clicking. If the Cowboys keep clicking and, actually want to not do the same thing they do every year, which is fold at the end, we could be talking about them possibly too. Because I think besides the 49ers, the Cowboys are the next best team to beat the Eagles in the NFC. That's if they're playing. Who else? Who?
No, you're right on point.
I'm looking at big guy.
I know what you're looking at. But here's the thing: if you look at the schedule, the Cowboys have the more favorable schedule going down the stretch. Yep. So what you're saying isn't a farce, because Dallas doesn't have the minefield that Philly has going down the stretch. So I can totally see what you're talking about.
Because
that's actually what Irv was talking about right before we started the show.
And you don't know what Buffalo team you're getting in Philly. They could beat Philly. It's just not. I don't believe in them. Buffalo could damn near run the table. You switch offensive coordinator, so you don't know what team you're getting in Buffalo either. So but the Dallas does have the more favorable schedule, and could end up. I don't know if they could end up. I don't have the schedule, the standings. Could Dallas still be number one in the NFC?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a lot at stake with this game. But give me the Eagles. I think they're just running a little bit better than the Chiefs. Not saying that the Chiefs aren't running good, but I think they'll start progressing a little bit more. Like the next 2 weeks, you'll see what Chiefs team is really going to be. They struggled a little bit, and it's not Buffalo struggling. It's Chiefs struggling where you're used to them doing certain things, and they're kind of a little sluggish. But I'll take the Eagles, the over, and for them to cover the points. I think this is going to be a close game, though. Was our last on this? Are we going to the next and last one? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we on to the next, on to the last one.
All right, on to the last one. Let's do this. I'll let one of you guys read the stats for y'all beloved Commanders. We got the New York Giants at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are 9.5-point favorites, but the over-under being 37.5. Let me get these stats up if I can get them, because my finger is not cooperating with me. But here we go. Midnight Roddy, you want to take this one? What happened?
We lost KG. There he's back. All right, so the New York Giants, 32nd in points per game at 11.8. Jesus Christ. Points per game allowed, 29th at 26.6. Total yards per game, 32nd, 259.2. Passing yards, 32nd, 145.6. Rushing yards, 14th, 113.6. Yards per game allowed, 27th, 368.5. Turnover differential, 19th at -3. The Washington Commanders are 17th in points per game at 21.7. 31st in points per game allowed at 27.4. Total yards per game, 16th at 334.5. Passing yards, 246.6, which makes them 11th. 28th in rushing yards, 87.9. 29th in yards per game allowed, 380.9. And turnover differential, -2 at 16th. Also, folks, if you know someone that likes whiskey, you should send them to our link at the bottom of the screen. Buy FortMoose.com discount Maniacs. Because if you do the link and you put our code in, you get 10% off for some great whiskey. Down back to you, big guy, or B.
I'll take it first because I want you guys to really, tackle this. The Commanders better win this game. That's what I'm gonna say. This isn't Daniel Jones isn't coming out, so you don't have to worry about that. You have some type of know-how and some type of kind of like blueprint of what you want this team to be. They're not looking for an identity. You got the top passer in the league. If it could be more consistent and more fluent, this team would be head over heels. They go to the discount code again, guys. Head over heels. This shouldn't be a game. This is at home. This should not be a game. Who's starting for? Is it the quarterback starting for the Giants? Is the one that his mom make his bed?
Yeah,
that's Tommy DeVito.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Hey, look, I always like an underdog. I always like guys coming in trying to prove themselves and get a foot in the league and stay in the league. But I would tell you one thing. Somebody in the middle of that defense better show up today because they have been non-existent. 93, 94. Somebody better come to play today. Something's wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they missed their buddies. Can't put a pin on it. Somebody better come to play today. They got their money. It's time to play. So give me Washington. Give me the Giants to cover that. I just don't think they're going to that 9.5. I don't think so. Give me the Giants to cover that 9.5. Give me the over in Washington. I'm going to take Washington. They better win. Midnight Rider. You want to go? Who want to go first? This is y'all spot.
I'll take it. I'm gonna start this real simple. Even though Tommy DeVito is the quarterback, we have lost as a franchise to some of the most god-awful quarterbacks that have walked this earth. So I apologize if I don't have the same confidence that everybody else has. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say we should blow this team out. We should win by 2 scores because I haven't seen this team do that. And then Thursday, I saw a very tired coach. I saw a man come out in this press conference and talked about the stuff he's had to deal with the last 3.5 years. And I get it, Ron. You've dealt with cancer. You dealt with fixing a broken franchise. You had a poor ownership. You had to put this together. You never had a quarterback to begin with. Some of this is on you, but I'm gonna take the Commanders to win. I'm taking the under because I don't think these two teams, the way they play each other, I don't think that's gonna be a factor. And I'm gonna take the Giants to cover. And I don't care if it's Tommy DeVito. I don't care if it's Tyrod Taylor. I don't care if it's Jeff Rutledge. I don't care if it's Jeff Hostetler. I don't care who it is that the Giants have playing quarterback. I think when they play us, they always have a chance. So that's why I'm taking the Giants to cover. Go ahead, KG.
All right, I'm gonna say this. I'm not sure if y'all remember what happened to Tommy DeVito. Not sure if you remember what happened to Tommy D. When they thought he was gonna be made, and he walked in the room and wasn't nobody in the room, and he said, "Oh shit, yeah, that's what's gonna happen." It's a Goodfellas reference, Tommy DeVito. If you don't get about Tommy D, you don't know. I'm sorry, but that's what's gonna happen with this team. It's gonna be the Washington Commanders plus the 9.5. This is gonna be a feel-good win, but we cannot rest on our laurels because we have the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday.
Stay in that space right there. Your voice is louder when you're there. Whatever you just did, stay there when you're talking.
Well, I didn't move.
Well, you faded out. So that's all I'm saying. Just stay.
Okay.
Do whatever you're doing.
Well, quickly, I'm taking Washington plus the points and the over. Don't rest on your laurels. Keep it moving. Let's go.
You know what it sounds like KG doing? You remember the scene in Ace Ventura where he's closing and opening. Oh! Oh! That's what it sounds. I don't know why your voice is going in and out, KG, but that's what it sounds like you're doing. So that's what it sounds like. Trying to see what else we got here. That's our lineup for NFL week number 11. Are we going to do a quick list? Midnight Rider, you want to say that for Tuesday?
No, we're doing that Tuesday. I can't.
Okay.
I can't break the list out just yet.
Okay.
I got to talk to my sources. I got to talk to a couple people. You know what I'm saying? We got the list just doesn't happen like right away. It's a process.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Look,
But
like always,
if somebody wants to buy some whiskey, they can look below at the ticker and put their code in for the Maniacs, and you get a
even
discount.
better. Even better. If you on Facebook, I think I pinned the comments. All you gotta do is click the link. If you don't drink whiskey, you know somebody that does. Myself, the Nubian Sumo with cigar connoisseurs and whiskey and bourbon and everything else. So
that's what we need. We need a cigar one.
I'll work on that.
Okay.
I'll work on that. But in the meantime, in between time, go set your fantasy lineups, please. Please do not do what I did last week and forget your picks, because I forgot a pick. Make your picks, set your fantasy lineup, and enjoy this week 11 football. I think everybody's in agreement that the game of the week comes on tomorrow night is the Eagles and the Chiefs. But I think it's a couple of good, interesting games today. I'm probably look on FanDuel, see if I can put a little 4 or 5 leg parlay in real quick, and then pray to the betting gods to see if that comes through. So, if anybody don't have anything else, you got anything else, Midnight Rider?
I'm trying to figure out who my guy is today
For fantasy.
Based on my lineups, I think I'm gonna go Hopkins. I think DeAndre Hopkins and Will Levis figure something out today. That's my This is my bold prediction. This isn't the safe. This isn't the check down for the 5-yard out. This is me going 90 on 3rd and 10, and I'm going for the end zone. So that's what I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take DeAndre Hopkins to have a big day.
You know what was crazy? After Stephon Diggs, running the media where he's not happy, usually he would have 14 targets. But it's you're going against that Jets defense today. That would normally be my pick. But you know who I'm gonna pick today to just maybe that guy that hasn't really done anything all season? I'll say Gabe Davis. I'll stick with my Bills. I'll say Gabe Davis. It's just like you think at some point you're gonna catch something, right? and score some points or something. But I think my safe bet is Tyreek Hill. I just think that he's gonna get 7 to 10 receptions, 100 yards, and probably 2 touchdowns today. So safe Tyreek Hill. If you're a gambling man and you like those oddballs, Gabe Davis. So big guy KG, you got anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, give me Jahan Dotson as my player to look for.
That's his what?
So
Jahan
my player to
Dotson.
look for, Jahan Dotson. At least $125 and 2 touchdowns today.
That's his bold. All right, what's his safe? You got a safe pick?
You got a safe pick, or is that it?
Safe pick would be Joshua Dobbs throws for 250.
Who's that? Josh Dobbs?
Josh Dobbs 250. That's doable against his Broncos.
I think he got that backwards, but okay. Let me see my safe pick. Blah blah blah. David Montgomery. That's my safe pick.
Okay. All right, 10-4. Well, I think
I
that's
wrote
it.
down.
I think that's it for us. Y'all go get y'all some food. Enjoy NFL Week 11. We will catch y'all. and some whiskey, some cigars. We catch y'all on Tuesday with the Tuesday night flight. We are looking for a Joe the Fan. If you want to join us, I'm gonna send some invites out. If you want to join us for Tuesday night, let us know. So for the Sideline Junkies, NFL Week 11, Sunday Rise, Clear Productions, Midnight Rider, the big guy KG. We out of here, man. Peace.
Have a good night, folks.
It'd have been nice if I had. See, this is why big guy got to run this thing, so that he can take us out. Because I don't know where.
You see it in recording.
I want to go out.